Live from Hollywood, California, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funnies, Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
I have to let this rock for a second. Listen, I don't know how I can explain it. I mean, you just have to listen. Social media gonna mute my shit. Stop. I love them. That's Metallica, y'all. Welcome everybody, VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, man. I'm your host, the Big Vanilla Funny, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Shaq, the Big Vanilla Kobe, Mr. Never Shut Up, VA's Top Talk Boy, Mr. I Told You So, the Big Vanilla Color Card, because sometimes in sports, the color card has to be played, and when it does, you guys know I'm your Big Vanilla Vegas dealer, and I got a new one. The Big Vanilla Seasoning Salt. You know, like Lawyers, Adobo Seasoning Salt. Because no matter what it is, all you got to do is sprinkle a little bit of me on it, and you ain't gonna need nothing else. Woo! Kobe for the win bucket. Y'all see the Kobe is 3 all-time show, right? Right? Yeah, number 3 all-time. Stop playing with me. A great show lineup today, man. I got my man Luis Estrada from Spectrum Sports. He be winning Emmys and shit. He's got like 30 of them. I'm very jealous of him. I can't hate because he's a really good guy. He's a really good friend of mine, and he knows the sports. Diehard LA guy. I mean, his dad took him to the Dodgers back in the day. Took him to the Rams, and the Rams were out here for the first time previously before they went to St. Louis and then moved back. Him and his pops used season ticket holders. They used to go to the games. He's LA as it gets when it comes to sports. But I'm kind of jealous that he's got a lot of Emmys, and I don't have any of them. Like, if I'm ever at his house for like a Christmas party or dinner party or something, like, I'm not calling myself no thief, but, I mean, 29, 30, who's counting, right? I mean, it was counting. I don't know. You know what? Let's go find who did this, because this is wrong, dog. You worked for those. Those are yours. He's a good dude, man. Very successful in the business. Gets to hang out with James Worthy and Big Shot Bob and all those guys over at Spectrum. So he'll be on. Also, 2 special guests, man. Y'all know I love my black queens. I love to bring them in, talk sports, get their opinions, and show them love the way we should be showing them love in the entire industry. Quick sidebar. I got a mad side professional crush on Elle Duncan. I don't know where it came from. And I know who she is, and I've been seeing her, but I think I saw one of her Instagram pictures or something. I was like, that's Elle Duncan? Where? That's Elle Duncan. Okay, all right, Elle Duncan. They say, what the sweat? They say you biracial, so you got some chocolate and something. That's what I heard. You know what I'm saying? What up, though, Mom? No, I'm just playing. But no, I do. I like her a lot. Her, Maria Taylor. But I have another black queen coming on myself, Miss Danielle Lee from a major sports network. I can't really put it out there just out of simple respect because of who she works for. She's got to, guard a grill in her professional stuff, and I love her that much that I would always make sure that was possible for her to do, is to guard herself. So if she wants to tell you guys who she works for, I'll let her do it, but I'm not going to, because I just have that much respect and professionalism and broadcast journalism, some shit a lot of y'all need to learn. That leads me to my opening rant. I was just having Luis Estrada. He's back waiting on us right now. I'll bring him in shortly, but I normally do a 30-minute opening rant. Luis, give me 5, man, and we'll bring you in and we'll go at it. I'm having so much fun this year not liking who I don't like. In sports talk, we always want everybody to like everything. But that's not how it goes. And if you don't, and the majority do, then you're a hater. Or if you don't, or you do, and the majority don't, it's like, oh, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know sports, or, man, he's always hating. It normally goes against who your favorite player is, who your favorite team is, what history and era of sports you grew up in. It normally plays along those lines, as opposed to who you're going to like, who you're going to cheer for. who you think is legit, who you think may be a GOAT, may not be a GOAT. I grew up on Dan Marino. I grew up on the Miami Dolphins. I will never like the bum-ass Buffalo Bills. And pretty much anybody that comes from there. I will never like the bum-ass Jets with their puke green, baby diarrhea green ass color uniforms. They went to that dark shit that looks like if you had too many spinach smoothies. I know. I drink spinach smoothies and eating arugula. I know what that looked like. That's what the color of your jersey. Bum-ass Jets. Can't get it right for nothing. Even can get to the conference championship game, but you got a bum-ass quarterback and a coach slamming his headset down and blah, blah. Nah, you lost, dog. He beat you again. No matter if it's 13-3, 13-10, 16-13. Who won? Dubs. Sports has a very short memory. Rob Parker says this all the time. One of my mentors and friends in this business. Sports has a short menu. Wins, losses, championships, or desserts. The championships of the desserts is mine. I added that part. He'll admit that. I added that part. Championships is desserts. You know what I'm saying? Awards is the appetizers. You add a little bit to the menu, but it's very short though. It's no different ways to win. You win. So different ways you lose. That's how you have to look at it if you're an athlete. So why don't we look at it like that when we're journalists or sports talk show hosts or broadcast journalists? Why don't we look at it that same exact way? It always amazes me how people will create a personal narrative just to fit their argument, but will use a different narrative over the same situation of another player, another team, in another league, in another sport. To me, I thought it really affected sports talk. I thought it really affected TV and affected radio in not a positive way, in a way where it was like, God, man, it kind of all looks the same, sounds the same, feels the same. That's what we're doing here at Vesson. We want to bring back natural, classic, real sports talk with a splash of comedy and entertainment, and we're going to do it. But I'm having so much fun not liking who I don't like. I'm having a ton of fun watching the Lakers throw up on themselves. I am. 16-16. Can't beat no one good. Losing to bad teams and need overtime to win like 5 games already this year. You think that's going to last with 35, 36, 37-year-olds? The same shit that everybody said. Wouldn't be a problem if your main man, the king, all the other shit you guys call him, the fake GOAT. It wouldn't be a problem if he didn't tweet back in August or September, whenever it was, y'all keep that same energy. Call him my team. Oh, my team. My. I. Every time I watch him, I feel like I'm watching a fucking opera and he's warming up. Me. Every time I watch the dude. But if you say that, oh, you're a hater. No, I don't like him. I don't like the Lakers. I grew up a Pistons fan. Kobe was my guy. I can't help it that he got traded there. When he got drafted by Charlotte, I was living on the East Coast. I got family in Charlotte. I got family in North Carolina. I thought I was going to be going to Charlotte Hornets games watching Kobe Bryant. And then he gets traded draft day. Like, God, he went to the Lakers? I'm a Pistons fan. I'm coming off of rivalries with the Lakers in the 80s. That's why I grew up through the NBA. That's how I grew up becoming a basketball fan. Tar Heels, Pistons. So whatever the Tar Heels was going through in the 80s, I was down with it, and to this day, I still hate all those teams. What the Pistons was going through in the 80s, I was down with it, and I still hate all them teams to this day. I can't stand Boston. I can't stand LA. I don't like the Cavs. I don't like the Pacers. I don't like the Bulls. I don't like none of them teams. I don't like Duke. I don't like Clemson. I don't like NC State. I don't like Wake Forest. I'm a Tar Heel guy. It's the same in the NFL. It's the same in boxing. Whoever Sugar Ray Leonard was going against, I don't like you. Because I go for Sugar Ray Leonard. I don't flip-flop and jump around. And when we started to do that, it came and it infiltrated the sports talk. And then everybody was so afraid of being called really the stupidest and like self-loathing word in the English dictionary in society today, hater. What's really a hater? Someone that's got a difference of opinion. I understand some people might be jealous. There's some haters in the hood and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some haters in corporate America. They don't think you should get that position. They don't think you should do this. I get all that. But when in sports were we knocked for who we didn't like? Everybody didn't like Jordan in the 80s and the 90s. Everybody didn't like Joe Montana. And Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and Tom Rathman and George Seifert and Bill Walsh and Bill Romanowski and John Taylor and Brett Jones and Roger Craig. They was mauling the NFL. Mauling the NFL for a good 5 out of 6 years. Crushing everybody. Blowing out teams in the Super Bowl. Blowing out teams in the conference finals. What does NBA? It's going to be conference championship game. Mauling through. Everybody didn't like Joe Montana. You think Giant fans are East Coasters? You think we love that San Francisco That Bay Area, that shiny blonde. Notre Dame? Come on, you know how many people hate Notre Dame? That's where he played. Well, I grew up on the East Coast. We didn't like Joe Montana. We didn't fuck with Joe Montana. Like, that's just what it was. But you didn't get called hater. The other fan base and the other writers and stuff from the other newspapers would just write and go out and try to prove you wrong. And those players would go out and just try to prove you wrong. But I'm having such a good time not liking who I don't like. It's okay. The message is it's okay. When people tell me they don't like Kobe, Kobe's my guy. When people tell me they don't like Kobe, I just always say, why? I don't go, oh, you're a hater. And I listen to their reasons. And it's like, oh, okay. He didn't take a lot of bad shots, VJ. Yeah, he took a lot of bad shots. He made a lot of bad shots, too. He's the greatest bad shot maker in the history of the game. Like, I would love that title. I would love if my son Cameron, if one day somebody goes, man, he's the greatest bad pass thrower quarterback I've ever seen. He throws a lot of bad pass, but they get there. Something happens. They're touchdowns. Like, it's like, what do you do? Some of his shots, yeah, all right. He run Shaq out of town. Well, yeah, Shaq was lazy as fuck. He got tired of it. We know the story now. Shaq was lazy as shit. He got tired of it. It's like, yo, honestly, we probably could have beat the Pistons if your fat ass was in better shape. I'm a Pistons fan. And I rolled hard. We should have swept the Lakers that year. My love for Kobe went away for 2 weeks. I'm a Pistons fan. My family, my friends, everybody back in the DMV can tell you that. I was not playing with that series. I wanted my Pistons to win that series. When Kobe hit that game tying shot to force game 2 into overtime, I knew it was going 5, but I was like, we should have swept their ass. But we came out here, stomped them, and took game 1 by 9. They held him like 87 points or something like shut him, defense shut him down. Shaq was fat and out of shape. He was not the same Shaq that won those 3 and then got eliminated. Remember, they won 3 in a row. They got eliminated by the Spurs in 6. And the Spurs beat him in Staples. Then came back that following year, got back to the finals against the Pistons, lost in 5. And if it's not for Derek Fisher's .4 shot, come on, guys. Y'all don't want to get me talking history. Y'all want to start. Come on, man. Let's clap it up, man. Let's clap it up. Let's move on. All right, listen. I'm enjoying hating who I hate and not liking who I'm not liking. And the message is it's okay. It's okay. Let's agree to disagree and move on. We can stay on the subject a little more, but eventually, all right, let's move on. You don't like him. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't think he's good. I think that was a bad draft pick. Okay, cool. What else can we talk about? There's so much more to talk about. What else can we talk about? Maybe we agree on some shit. You like gummy bears? I like gummy bears. All right. First guest I'll bring in, man, we're going to get right into the NBA. I'm going to propose some questions to him, check on him and his family. Lovely, lovely family of his, man. I'm proud of this cat. When we first met, we met on some radio show. It was like 12 people trying to talk at the same time, like dead serious. And then our friendship has grown. We played in a celebrity softball game together where he won the MVP. I think, yeah, he won the MVP, hit a home run or something like that also to that game. But he'll be quick to tell you. But I struck out, which is funny as shit, but if you win an MVP, you win and hit the home run, it really don't. The strikeout really don't matter, man. He's over at Spectrum Sports. He's one of the background guys there, but they're also flying him around. He's helping build studios. Spectrum is really, really growing, man. And then I always have to add this in, man. He is my favorite Mexican in Los Angeles. He really is, man. He's a cool ass dude. We be skyboxing together over at Staples. You know, it ain't nothing. You know, sitting in the skybox, chilling, watching the game and shit, talking life, talking business. You know what it is, man. My man, Luis Estrada, what's good, homie?
What's going on, brother?
I know, man. I was about to say that might be the best intro you've ever gotten, like, in your career.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, I'll tell you, I get it. On set, I have years ago. Doesn't even come close to what you get.
But I know them goddamn Emmys, dude. Listen, like I just said, you heard me. I mean, I ain't calling myself no thief, but, you know, I mean, if you got 9, you kind of still got 9, whether you only count 8. So don't trip, bro. So talk to me, man. What's good? How's the family? How's your lovely daughter? You guys ready for the holidays, man?
We're about as ready as we're gonna get.
Okay.
It's like too late at this point. You know, they're doing good. Everyone's doing good. You know, I just wrapped up her first semester in high school. Man, she's a freshman in high school. Just doing her thing. She's doing really good. You know, the wife's doing real well. We're getting up. I got a couple of days off coming starting tomorrow. So gonna have a few days with the family before I go back to it on Monday. So Just got to get through tonight in the Spurs, baby.
My man, nah, I hope they beat the living shit out of y'all tonight. I'm dead serious. I hope they beat the living shit. I was watching that Suns game the other day. I know Raydell was mad too because I was saying it out loud. I was like, this bum ass offense. Look at this whack ass stand around, dribble. This bum ass offense, man. Please, bruh. Where you can go get 34 and you kind of just pitching the guys, and if they miss the shots, everybody's like, well, you got to hit shot. Bro, come on, man. You jacking threes and jacking jumpers too. Stop it. Yeah, I hope you should win, but it wouldn't surprise me if middle of the fourth quarter it's like a 4 or 5 point game. Either way.
With this team, nothing would surprise me. They've lost twice to Oklahoma City already. Oklahoma City, and one game they were up by 23 or 24. The other game they were up by 19 going into the second half and still lost those games. So they
didn't they blow a 26-point lead too?
Maybe to somebody else.
Yeah, they blew a 26-point lead also, too.
They've lost some big leads to really bad teams. And then they come out and they play really, like the other night they lost to the Bulls in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually played pretty well. I'm not one for moral victories, but at least they kind of look like a basketball team where a lot of this time that you see what they're doing, it's a lot of iso ball, jacking up threes. They're not a three-point shooting team. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, they better figure it out. They better figure it out fast. And we'll save that a little bit because I have a question I want to ask you. I want to jump right into the show, man. I have a question I want to ask you, bro. Is it smart or important to show loyalty to a pro sports franchise? And I'm aiming at a certain player here, but I'm asking the question blindly. You'll probably guess who I may be aiming it at. But is it smart and important to show loyalty to a franchise in pro sports?
I think it depends on the individual. And here's what I mean. Is when you're a professional athlete, you're still a man, you're still a woman, you're still a professional. You have to figure out what's most important to you. Now, does that necessarily mean loyalty is good one way or another? That's up to you. Because I feel you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, is this what I feel is best for me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're asking me blindly in general, look, in most instances, I would say be loyal to yourself. But at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself and say, okay, what's my situation here? Do I like it here? Is it going the way that I want? We've all heard the tales. Just because there are greener pastures out there doesn't mean they're best for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the loyalty question really depends on the individual and how they feel about it themselves. Now, you can say the right things publicly, but privately feel a different way. And that's where I think you get a lot of this going back and forth, the wishy-washiness.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself and be upfront about it. Be the same both behind closed doors and in front of closed doors. Look, if you're, let's say Ben Simmons, he doesn't want to be in Philadelphia. They obviously don't want him there. Try to do something to get him out. You're being upfront about it. It's consistent. He's not sitting here out in front saying, yes, I want to be here, and then saying behind the scenes, no, get me the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
He's being consistent both sides. And then he's just shut up. You haven't really heard a word from him after a while, letting his agent and the Sixers handle it. So I kind of feel it just depends on the situation, depends on the individual. What's most important to you, and how can you feel the best about yourself in that situation?
Ben Simmons is a good one you brought up. I talked about him a while ago, and I think you might have heard the show or either been on it, but I blame the Sixers 100% for this. I'm not jumping and going to dump on Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, the players have all the power, and I'd be pissed too if my coach kind of shitted on me after an immediate loss. Like I was the sole reason why we lost that series in the playoffs last year, when I'm still defending the best player. I'm still shutting people down on the perimeter. I'm still assisting and facilitating. All right, I'm not a scorer. Y'all figure this shit out. Jason Kidd wasn't a scorer for a little bit. They used to call him Ace Kidd. Why do you call him Ace Kidd? Because he's got no J. Do people remember the LA Times tragic Johnson? Like, we've seen this before. It's okay, but work this shit out. You're the GM. You're the VP. Work to find some shoot. You brought in Danny Green, but then you let Danny Green go. You bring in guys and then you let guys no, surround guys around me. Ben Simmons to me is still a franchise player. He's still a franchise player. I wouldn't show them no loyalty. The player I'm speaking about that I think I agree with his loyalty, but I always felt like he would pay dearly for it, and that's Dame Lillard. It's who I'm speaking about right now. The Portland Trail Blazers are 13-19. They're not playing well. If you watch a Portland game, and I've watched maybe 3 or 4 of them this year, just to watch body language, just watch camaraderie. This move should have been done, or they should have. And I understand people. The narrative today is, well, you got to get guys. You also have to understand this is a different generation of $1 million athletes we are dealing with. No one wants to. I don't know anybody that wants to go to Portland or wants to genuinely live in Oklahoma City or college football. Everybody's pissed at Lincoln Riley. Oh, okay. Norman, Los Angeles. It's not a question.
No.
We live here. It's not a question. Yes, it's expensive, but right now the way the economy is, it's expensive no matter where you live because the dollar adjusts from rich to middle class to poor. The dollar adjusts. So just because you make a certain amount, but yeah, if you live in, I live in North Carolina. Yeah, where do you live in North Carolina? Do you live in Charlotte? Because it's still expensive there for what they'll pay you. And the NBA is the same way. It's like, well, I can go play in Miami, no state tax, or I could go sign with the Mavs or the Rockets, no state tax. Vegas doesn't have a team yet. They don't have any state tax. And Jersey's teams are technically New York's teams. And Jersey doesn't have state tax. So you have to understand that you can't just always go get guys anymore. It doesn't work that way. And LeBron messed all this shit up by basically doing the Miami move, because the Miami move pretty much certified that this is what guys were going to do. Did you hear Iman Shumpert?
Yes.
Like players are starting to really come out and be like, yeah, man, like honestly, y'all can say what you want to say. And that's where, to me, he can never touch a Jordan, a Magic, a Bird, or a Kobe. It's just simply because your peers don't respect you the way, by the masses, the way you will never get the love Kobe got, bro. Never. No. You'll never get Jordan's love. You'll get people to defend you against Jordan, but dog, guys aren't going to be wearing your shoes 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Trust me, they will still be wearing Jordans 20 years from now, and they came out 35 years ago. So by then it'll be 50 years. There's going to be a 50th anniversary Jordan.
Right. Think about Jordan's legacy. People are jumping, and no pun intended, to get on the Jumpman bandwagon. Look at UCLA. They just got all their apparel done by Jumpman.
Michigan football.
Michigan football.
Yeah.
So, like, those colleges are now trying to jump on as well. Like, that solidifies us. That's going to give us more money to boost our facilities, bring in the coaches, bring in everything. And it's like, Jordan's still a name. Like, people, it's funny because when you look, Jordan's been out of the game for, almost 20 years?
Yeah, I want to say 02-03 might have been his last seasons.
Right. He hasn't played a game in almost, let's say, just call it 20 years. Yeah. He's been in the background. People bash him as an owner because the Hornets have been pretty terrible.
And the shit's hard. It's not easy to own a team.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. But you say his name and you get attached to his name, you're relevant. Immediately, you're relevant. Immediately. You don't have that with very many players. You know, LeBron may want to get there, but there's a difference. And this is the thing with LeBron. Like, you and I had a conversation a while back about Allen Iverson. Mm-hmm. About how we didn't appreciate the talent he was as a basketball player while he was playing. It wasn't until he retired we went back and watched it. It was like, yeah, that guy was pretty damn good, right? Because he was so good, people just wanted to hate on him. And I kind of felt that way with LeBron. Watching him the last couple of years, I see more of what people were talking about. Mm-hmm. He's still not the GOAT to me. He's still not even close.
He's a great basketball player. And about AI, real quick, and I want to get your opinion on Dame Lillard. But about AI, I've already come out and admitted I was guilty of caught up in AI, T-Mac, Kobe, Duncan, Garnett, still Shaq. Wade was coming. We knew LeBron was coming. Like, there was a point that Reggie was still a relevant player in the league. Ray Allen, Glenn Robinson, big dog Glenn Robinson. Like, people forget. Some Latrell Sprewell. I could Latrell Sprewell, Sam Cassell. There were some gun. That's why I look at today's league, and I know I'm rambling, but I look at today's league and I look at that league, and I truly don't want to sound like the guy at the barbershop, but I really don't care at this point in my career. You can't. I could have named you 30 guys, 30, 40 guys in that era that can go out and get you 40 tonight. tonight, and going to play D and not going to cry and bitch and complain, you might have 10 in the league today. That's a big leap and a big difference. But Dame Lillard, like I said, I understand his loyalty, but I always thought he was ultimately gonna pay for it, and they can't move him. They're not going to because I don't think there's any fair value in the league. Like Russ, this Laker thing that Russ, no. Portland's not going to take him. The media's killed Russ's credibility. They've killed Russ's market because all they keep doing is talking about, well, he got traded to this team. He got traded. You're not telling the whole story, man. Like when they were in Houston, that was hard. That was all of them. That wasn't just him. Then he got sent to the Wizards, dog. Like, come on, like that wasn't a good team. Yeah, and he wanted to get and got him on the verge. Had him on the verge of the play. What are you talking about, man? Like this guy won an MVP without Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant left, what was left there in OKC? He had already lost Harden and he already lost Durant and still went out and won an MVP. The media has killed that man's value because they keep shit. And we are very powerful. Social media, I don't care what nobody says, man. A guy asked me on the show once, he goes, you think these VPs are really looking at social media? I said, yeah, because that's who pays the bills. Those are his fans. Those are the fans that buy tickets, the fans that pay. Fans' voices are being heard like never in the history of sports, not in this country, in the world. Fans get coaches fired. Fans get players traded. Trust me on this. You know how? Just really quick. And I hate to bag on LeBron, but he's just the example that you can use. His fan base will really trash another player so bad that he knows he can play up to it, and he knows now that he could go to the ownership and go, look, man, like this, look at this. This guy, we don't need him. You got to move him. The fans don't like him. I'm not saying that's how it goes, but if someone wanted to just simply hold the phone up to an owner and go, the star guy, like it can't be guy 5, guy 6, but the number one guy, I don't believe in this day and age that I'm wrong if I think that a player can go to an owner, sit in the quiet, and hold his phone up and go and scroll. Dude, we got to get rid of this guy, man. Like it's bringing, like, look at these are the fans, and this shit making me look bad. And if I'm not happy, like you can pull that. So that's how powerful that shit is. So that's why our platform and the way people have done Russ is like this guy is the most triple doubles of all time, and it's still kind of in his prime. And we talk about and treat this man like he really ain't shit on the court. They really talk about him in that manner, bro. It's the weirdest thing. Real quick, we got to switch, okay? We're going to switch. I know you can stay, but my other guest popped in, and I told her that I'll bring her on at 10:30, so I got to make sure I hold her down. But this is an easy switch, man. We chameleons around here, man. I'm the big vanilla iguana. Ha! That's a new one. The big vanilla chameleon. Yeah, I'm the big vanilla iguana, man. I'm like a dinosaur, dog. I'm a reptile. I can adjust. It don't matter. Did you see they just said they found an egg with the whole fucking dinosaur still in this shit? Yeah, it's like, yo, you know what? That's some big vanilla shit, right? You can find me 1,000 years. I still be chilling, talking sports, doing comedy, talking shit. All right, so listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna switch to NFL. You and I, we talk so much football, but I gotta bring this black queen in. Very special guest. She's been on my show maybe 2 other times. She did an audio for me when she was at an airport on a flyover, on a delay from a flight when she was traveling. She's worked many of big events, man. Many of stadiums. Last year, she's posting all her stadiums. I was mad jelly. I'm like, yo, girl, do your thing. Because I feel that. Like, I love when I call games and you go to these big stadiums and it's like, walk the field. And also, I felt and I thought we kind of shared a little head nod on that virtually together last year, man. But she's at a major network. I told you guys I'm not announcing our network because I got to protect people and protect their professionalism and what they got on on the side that's paying the bills. If she would like to tell you guys where she works, she can. But she's a product of the NFL. She did used to work for the NFL front office in New York City, and her father is also a former professional football player. Homie played tackle for like 10 years, 11 years or something like that. And she's got a huge infatuation for my man and Ndamukong Suh. That's her boo. We always joke about it. All right, I'm gonna bring her. I love this chick, man. This is a black queen. Y'all show respect to my lady, man. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know my guests. I don't bring no Johnny come latelys. I don't bring no cheeseburgers and fries. This is filet mignon and lobster tail over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that salt based shit. When the salt dude do this, when the salt dude do this. If I ever go to him, I'll be like, nah, man, don't just do that for the honeys. Do it on my shit, too. Just for the girls. All right, man. My girl, Miss Danielle. Where my girl? There she goes. My girl, Miss Danielle Lehman. Y'all say what up to my honey baby.
Hey, hey, hey.
What's up, mama? Hey, yo, and the
Look, I
makeup
love
is...
this intro.
Listen.
This intro, anytime I walk into a room, like...
Listen. Let me tell you something. I pride myself on my intros because I truly want my fans to know that who I bring on my show, bro, ain't the dude from the barbershop, all right? I'm bringing on professionals who have grinded their way up, all work at networks or all work at papers or all do something, not just sit on the internet and talk sports. So I want my fans to like know that. So there's a brother watching right now like, oh, who this chocolate drop? Who this little chocolate dip? I'm gonna look at my phone and be like, oh yeah, that's a dip right there.
You're hilarious.
That's a dip right there. And her makeup is always, it look like her face. That's how you do it, ladies. You don't put it on so I can tell it's makeup. You put it on so it look like you that beautiful. And it blends.
Thank you.
What's up, mama?
How you doing?
Good. How's everything? Talk to me real quick. Just how's everything? How's life? How's the job? How's everything?
Everything is good.
That's what's
good.
up.
Yep. Like
Good.
we just got back from Celebration Bowl. My sister did her thing on that.
Yes.
The artist, her new initiative.
Yeah.
She brought out Drum Major Mickey. That was his introduction to the world.
I saw it.
I'm so proud of her on that. So we just got back from Atlanta from Celebration Bowl.
The work you guys are doing for our peoples, I respect.
We try.
I know. You take try out of it. Take try out of it. You know me. I'm a
Thank
positive
you.
speaker. You're doing.
Thank you.
You're doing. You know who try? Like Donald Trump. He try shit. You know what I mean? Like Elon Musk. He don't try. He in space. He doing it. Like Elon Musk trying to take over the world, bruh. I'm not sure he's even. This might happen.
It might be happening.
This might happen. You know what I'm saying? You got Kanye West talking about, I want to be the boss of the world. I could do this. Nah, Elon Musk is like, you have a Tesla? Yeah. You got a Tesla? I want one of them joints now, man, because I'm going into solar cells starting after the new year. So I've been doing all this solar research, and I was like, damn, I was talking shit. I was talking shit about him. I be on the road like, hey man, move that piece of shit. That damn Tesla, man.
Everybody's on them.
Yeah.
Everybody's on these Teslas. So you gotta get you one.
All right, football guys. I'm gonna let you guys pick. I love my guest Danielle, since you are my NFL expert I'm bringing on today. I'm gonna let you pick, Mama. You want to start with the NFC or you want to start with the AFC?
Oh gosh. Maybe the NFC, since it's so sad.
Okay.
No.
Oh. Coming in, she says since it's so sad. Well, I agree with you, man, because I look at the NFC East and I see 10-4, 7-7, 6-8, 4-10. I go to the NFC North, see 11-3, 7-7, 4-10, 2-11-1. My bad about your Lions. I see the South. I see 12-4, 7-7, and the 7-7 team just shut the 10-4 team out on the road in their stadium, holding Tom Brady to 0 and killing fantasy playoffs across the land. Godwin's out now with a torn ACL. Evans goes out of the game. Leonard Fournette's on his way to the IR. And just that fast in football, guys, that fast. Your season, man. So, and then the Falcons are 6-8, Panthers are 5-9. Shout out to my man Cam Newton. I'm still riding with you, bro. I still have you on like 7 teams. You're on the bench. I can't play you, but I still have you rostered. Your rostered percentage, Vesson Sports has a piece of that, brother. So it is what it is. Then I look out at the West and I see 12-4, 10-4, 8-6. Watch for those Niners, y'all. 5-9. Russell Wilson is done in Seattle. We'll see what happens there. So I'm with you. It's sad, but give me a surprise team that you have in the NFC that you're watching, and you're week 15. You're like, oh, okay, I ain't really see that from them. It can be good or bad, but just a surprise.
I don't know if this is a surprise. Maybe the Panthers, because that people are thinking like, oh, Cam is back. Cam's Cam about to hit it, and it's like. There's something about Cam that we don't know. Us outsiders outside of the team, we don't know. Whether it's him not being able to throw as hard or as far, not being able to watch film, not being able to go through his progressions. There's something internal that we don't know that's something that's going on with Cam. The team knows because they deal with him every day, but there's something that we don't know. So we still have hope and we still have faith in Cam, but there's just a little piece that's off. So there's a little something that I'm trying to figure out. So I would probably say surprise, maybe the Panthers and maybe the Saints.
I like the Panthers one, but I think the season was over when Cam got there. It was excitement more for me, but when they traded for Sam Darnold, that's when I thought it was. Yeah, that's when I was like, okay, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And can we normalize? I hate catching on the new phrases, but I do like. Can we normalize? I do like that one. I don't like. I didn't say fleek. I don't like saying lit. There's a lot of stuff going on on social media since I don't do it. I'm not taking part, but I do like. Can we normalize? Because I think you could dress that up. You can be hood with it, but you can dress it up. But can we normalize that that McCaffrey's injury prone, and that might have been the wrong draft pick? He's a little guy, man, and his dad is surprising because his dad. We all grew up in the same area. His dad was tough as shit. His father never missed a game. This guy can't stay on the field. We need to normalize that. Okay, he may not be that guy, but some injuries there on the receiver front. They lose Curtis Samuel to the Redskins, and he stole money from them. Yes, I still called them the Redskins. So I don't know. I was surprised about them. The Saints, I thought was a 500 team, but I liked them with Jameis. But I don't have no belief in Taysom Hill. To me, it's Tebow 2.0. Can't throw for shit. And it just this gimmick offensive running quarterback, it's not going to work. We see it with Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar, but they're so injured. You saw he can just get them through 13 weeks. Imagine if Baltimore had their weapons. But Lamar could get you to 13, but it's 4 more games, bro. The season don't stop here. So sooner or later, option read, run, option read, quick throw. Sooner or later, bro, you take some in. If not for Andrews, oh my God, where would Baltimore be? So I don't mind either one of those.
Can they stop going for 2? Just can they stop?
Get
the field goal, get your point, get to overtime, and you have more time to do something. Game plan.
I feel that my system, but I love the 2. I love the 4th down goal for us.
Nice.
I love the 4th down goal for us. I do because I guess I'm so tired of watching whack ass sports. It feels like this year felt like it felt like a real NFL season. Last year we had football, but COVID really took a lot of flavor and muster off the game in the college and in pro. This year it felt like there was an extra amount of juice from guys who got to play back in front of fans. Players came back. Half the league, 15% of the league walked away last year. Was like, I don't have to play. Yeah, I'm gonna wait this one out. Yeah, y'all wilding. I'm not. Y'all ain't poking me every 3 days and blah. Yeah, I ain't. No. I'm gonna go chill with the wife and the kids, spend some of this bread, and if things change, I'll be back. So this year felt like this is.
It felt like real football.
And I felt like coaches have taken that on, like the Chiefs and the Chargers last week. All those 4th down, yes. This is a division game. It's December. We ain't got time to fuck around, bro. Let's go right now. Let's go right now because we might need this later. Think about it if the Chargers and the Chiefs meet again. They'd be 1-1 and they both won on each other's field.
Yep.
But that would to Chargers and to me
it can't happen.
Exactly. But those 4th downs, I think builds that when you're in a wild card division game, 3rd quarter in Kansas City, cold as shit, maybe a little flurries. Field is torn up, and it's a 3-point game. It's not even a thought. Are we going for it? We done this in week 14, so I know the day, January 9th. I know we going for it today. Okay, yeah, we go. It just creates a different mindset.
It builds a little extra something in you. Like you've done it before when the game was on the line. Let's do it again. It builds a little confidence in you.
Yep.
And another team I forgot to mention in the NFC.
Go ahead, you got the floor, Mama.
I think the Rams are a surprise because Matthew Stafford didn't do much in Detroit. Now, granted, Detroit's not a place where you can do things, but bringing him to LA, it's like, is that going to work? And then they're loading up their team with all these superstars that can go one way or the other. It could be amazing that you brought Von Miller. It could be awesome that you got Odell, but Odell ain't the Odell when he was with the Giants. So it could go either way. They're loading up their team with all these stars, but when you do that, you're expected to win. So they're loading it up, and then now it's like if they don't get a Super Bowl, you've basically wasted money.
I agree with you about them loading up. I love it. They were my Super Bowl pick because I'm going for my credential, and I might be at the game if my credentials come through, and it's going to be here in LA. I got a comedy show that weekend. I got the Super Bowl. I'm trying to party with the Rams home fans that week, so I picked them up. My Super Bowl and my preview show were Rams and Browns. And Browns have faced so many injuries, and I think I missed on that one. But I love the Rams all year long. I thought they'd be like 13-4. I've always been a Matt Stafford fan, even when he was playing high school football coming out of West Texas, because it was between Michigan and Georgia. And he chose Georgia. And I've always had this side crush for Georgia players. Hines Ward, Craig Lumpkin, Noshawn Moreno, A.J. Green, Rashad Jones. There's just always I don't know why. Herschel Walker started it from my childhood. So Georgia's always a team. There's always a player from time to time. I go, oh yeah, that's my dude. I rock with him. Like even when he gets to the league, I'm a root for him. I'm a cheer for him. So I'm like that with I was like that with Matthew Stafford, even all those years in Detroit. I loved Matthew Stafford, and I know he doesn't have the division win. I know he doesn't have a playoff win, only 3 playoff appearances. I know he only had Megatron. Shout out to Megatron. I did the Hall of Fame Zoom with him back in July, I think it was. Lots of fun. I understand he only had one guy to run into. You guys tried Reggie Bush. They tried to draft Amir Abdullah out of Nebraska for the running back position. You had Ndamukong Suh. You had the guy that was a defensive finalist. That's your boo. A defensive finalist there. Rob Parker's a really good friend of mine and a mentor of mine in this business. Me and him go at it about Matthew Stafford all the time. So I thought when they got him, and I'll let Luis jump in here in a minute because him and I were on the same page of golf coming out of Cal. Neither one of us thought, we did a bunch of shows together, neither one of us thought that, and we were iffy both on Wentz. We were like, Wentz going to be better, but I don't think either one of these guys, and Wentz ended up, Wentz is out here in L.A. He's diving for a touchdown on a national game. The Eagles are, I think, 10-1 or 10-2 or 11-2 at that point. He's on his way to an MVP. 2 defenders hit his leg, tears his ACL, and he's never the same player again. So the Rams, I love the moves, but I do think Cam Akers goes down. My confidence dropped a little bit, and then when Robert Woods went down, I'm like, okay. They at 10-4, I think they could get to the conference championship game because now I look at the Bucs injuries, but I don't think this team can go to Lambeau unless they just fumble the game away, and LaFleur just gets strictly outcoached by a young peer of his when they were both in Washington together as quarterback assistant coaches. I don't think they can go up there and win that game. So with the Rams, I was all in on the Rams at the beginning of this year. My man Luis Estrada, Danielle introduced you to this. Luis Estrada, he's from Spectrum Sports out here. Covers the Lakers and the Dodgers, and 3-time Emmy winner. 3, 4. How many of you got? Don't brag too long.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. 8-time Emmy winner. My man Luis Estrada. Yeah, Luis Estrada. So, Luis, she says the Panthers. She threw the Saints in there. We both jumped on the Rams a little bit. You know how I feel about Matthew Stafford. We both know how we feel about Jared Goff. Any of those teams, man, you can jump on and then give me your surprises from the NFL season this year.
Absolutely, Danielle. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And be out here with you. I always have a lot of fun with these. When you're talking about surprises, for me in the NFC, I start with the Philadelphia Eagles at 7-7. Because this was supposed to be a year they're supposed to be completely rebuilding. Jalen Hurts finally gets his shot as the starting quarterback. They don't have a lot of weapons, and yet here they are. Yes, it's 7-7, but they're second in the East. They're only 3 games back of Dallas. Dallas has a very interesting schedule coming up where they play Washington, Arizona, and then at Philadelphia. Who knows? If they stumble a little bit and the Eagles go on a run, you could be going, that final game for the NFC East Championship coming up. The Eagles' defense is tough. I didn't expect it from them. I thought they'd maybe be a 6-7 win team at the most. But here they are, 3 weeks to go, right in the thick of things in the East. So to me, this was supposed to be their learning year, and yet to me, they've exceeded expectations. They lead the league in running the football per game, which is a huge way they can control the clock, keep teams off. I've been really impressed with the Eagles. Another surprise, I'm going to call them a disappointment to me, is the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings here they're 7-7. My problem with the Vikings is they've got too much talent everywhere to constantly be right around 500 year after year after year.
They can't close out games though, because they've shown up. There's not a game. I think maybe one where they just didn't show up. They've shown up every week. They can't close teams out. Why? But who is that? Is that Zimmerman? Everybody wants Nagy gone in the NFC North. It might be 2 guys gone in the NFC North this year because I would have to look at Zimmerman at this point. You can't blame Kurt no more. Knock that shit out. I looked it up the other night. The man ain't thrown more than 13 interceptions since 2012 and has thrown 27 or more touchdowns, 30 more touchdowns 3 times. So this narrative from the media that Kirk Cousins sucks, that's all bullshit. No, he doesn't. He's been the scapegoat.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You've got talent everywhere on both sides of that football. You've got Adam Thielen, you've got Justin Jefferson, you've got Dalvin Cook, who for the last 2 years has been pretty injury free. Cousins is not making mistakes. So why are they having a problem offensively from time to time? It's the NFL season. You're going to run into problems here and there. But this seems to happen year after year with them. And then defensively, they've got players. You've got Anthony Barr. You've got Eric Kendricks. You've got guys that can make plays. Why are you not stopping teams? What is it? It's like we talk about the killer instinct in the NBA. Mm-hmm. This is a team that for the last couple of years, they have the talent. They've got the personnel. But for whatever reason, collectively as a team, they don't seem to have that killer instinct to really come at you at the end of the game and close it out. So what is that? Is that leadership? Is that just head coach? Or is it go further? Or is it because we're a small market? It's good enough just to compete and kind of make it. I don't think so.
No.
This is a team that used to go to Super Bowl.
Yeah. I was about to say, no. This Minnesota is not a just compete town. Twins, right. World Series winners.
Right.
When they had, even the Timberwolves at a 500 right now are an interesting watch because it looks like Anthony was the right number one pick. It looks like Karl Towns has kind of rejuvenated itself. You got D'Lo there that was a top 3 pick for the Lakers. People thought coming out of Ohio State, he was a franchise guard. So Minnesota, hockey, come on, it's right on the Canadian. No, I agree with you. It's definitely not that. I think it's leadership. I think it's coaching. And like I said, there's 2 coaches. There's a coach that's out the door. We know Nagy's gone. But I think there might be another coach. Because I agree with you. They are all talent. And can we normalize? Y'all say I did that? Can we normalize? Can we normalize Jefferson as a top 5 receiver? That kid.
Oh yeah.
That kid is so. It's almost emotional. It's almost emotional to watch his route running. Because it's like, bro, how are your feet and your hips and your lean? How are you that damn dog? And you watch these DBs talk to each other in the end zone after the play. I'm like, bro, y'all ain't got. I be sitting on the sofa. Y'all ain't got shit to say. Like you wasn't gonna do nothing. Trust me, that kid. The way he ran that shit, bro, there was nothing you could. There was nothing you was doing. I don't know what y'all talk about another player because this kid right here. And some of the times I'm watching Vikings games, Kurt will miss him, and I'm like, damn, he was wide open. That could have been his 4th touchdown. He beat the coverage on the Tampa 2, like shade safety over, and you're being doubled underneath. He still beat that shit. So I'm with you. Tons of talent, and Cook injury free, yeah, but he did miss. And remember, he had the ACL, but he did miss a game this year for a hamstring or something. He does have these nicks that I would like to see cleared up. Maybe it's training, maybe it's eating. Drink more water, eat more spinach, homeboy. Something like you can't always just have a nick, man. It's like Devontae Parker with the Dolphins. Why are you always nicked up, bro? Like why? And it's never been career, and it's never been season ending. But play 4, miss 1. Play 5, miss 2. Like come on, hamstring, groin, stretch, nigga. Get up and stretch, man. What do you drink water, dog? Like that's simple to fix. Like you ain't torn nothing. You ain't have surgery. You're just it's a hip. Stretch, dog. Go to yoga. Do something. Right. Damn, man. You always out. Like you always. And when he plays, he was questionable. I like guys like in fantasy. I like guys that don't have letters next to their name with a little color bubble around it. I need those guys. Because that Q turns to an O real fast, and it's like, damn. Now I gotta go find. Now I gotta go find. Now I go find a receiver because your ankle hurt. Come on, man.
Something, BJ. You brought up Jefferson. We've talked a lot about number ones on this show. Mm-hmm. There's perceived number ones and true number ones.
Yeah.
Jefferson's a true number 1.
Yeah. Oh, Thielen's not the number 1 anymore.
Oh, no. I don't think Thielen never was. I think I put Thielen in the same category as I put Robert Wood. I think he's a really, really good number 2. But if he's the guy that's drawing the double teams, he's not going to create that separation.
Well, I thought he was better than Diggs when Diggs was there. I thought he was the number 1 between him and Diggs.
He was, but that was because Diggs already had a small foundation in the NFL.
Okay.
So people knew what he could do, and they were double teaming him. Thielen kind of took him by surprise that 1 year.
Yeah.
Since then, he's had good years, but nothing close.
Out of Minnesota State, small school and stuff. Right. Any more surprises you got, bro? I know you got one in the end. I know you got somebody else. Come on.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what you mentioned the Rams. You guys were talking about the Rams earlier. I'm with you. We talked about the pregame, not pregame.
The pre-show, preseason show.
I thought Matt Stafford was a huge get for this team. And I thought that they were going to go a lot further with him at quarterback because I've seen Jared Goff. I know Jared Goff. I don't like Jared Goff. I never have. Never liked the pick. Don't like any of that. So it was a huge upgrade. I still, even though he's had bad games against good teams, the only real good team before the Arizona game that he had where he looked really good was against Tampa Bay. Outside of that, the 4 losses they've had against those really good teams, he's looked really bad. Now, is that him? Is that COVID? Is it injury? I'm not going to place there's no excuses. You still got to go out there and play. And he made some bad plays. Maybe they're habits that he formed over in Detroit, but he's going to have to kick those real quick. The Rams, when they got Odell, you still had Robert Woods there. He was basically going to be your number 3 guy. You had.
I love Robert Woods, man. He's such a really good. That's a huge guys. And Odell does not cover that, guys. I'm telling that it's funny. He's played 3 games with them now, right? He had one good game, and everybody jumped on Twitter. Oh, I guess he was the problem in Cleveland. How did he look the other night?
Yeah, no. The one thing
7 yards.
Yeah. The one thing
Robert Woods ain't never had a 7-yard receiving game.
The one thing I'll say for Odell, since he's been here, is if nothing else, Stafford is looking for him, which is not what
yes.
in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I'll give him that. But like you look at the game against Arizona, you lost Tyler Higbee right before the game. You lost Jalen Ramsey right before the game. You still went out and you got it done. This past weekend, Tuesday, it was ugly. It was ugly against Seattle, but you got the win. Those are the ones you got to get. But now they got a tough schedule coming up. They finished with the 49ers, who, to me, they're the other surprise.
Where's that game at?
I believe it's here.
I'm
pretty sure it's
Rams.
Here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's here.
They'll win.
Yeah, the 49ers are my surprise because of how tough they are.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be a year where you didn't know what you were going to get, again, from another team like the Eagles, because you drafted Trey Lance. You weren't sure if Jimmy G was still going to be the guy, how they were going to incorporate everybody. George Kittle, as great as he is, seems to be getting hurt every year, so you weren't sure about how he was going to be. You weren't sure how Bosa was going to be coming back off of his injuries from last year. So this was a team that you weren't sure which way. You weren't going to be surprised if they went 10-7, 11-6, or if they went 5-12. They could have gone either way, but they're tough. They've kind of taken on that identity of John Lynch when he played. John Lynch was a tough corner. He may not have been the most gifted. He had talent and he was good, but he was tough. And that organization, since he's been there, has kind of taken on his playing identity. They're going to be a tough out no matter what. They seem to have the Rams' number since McVay's been here, so that's going to be a tough game, and that's the last game of the season. That could very easily be for the NFC West Championship for the Rams. It could be a playoff spot, even waiting for the 49ers as well. Right now, the 49ers are number 6 and the Rams are number 5.
Yeah, it's a playoff game for the Niners. I think the Rams wrapped the division up. It's a 2-division game. It's a 2-game lead right now. And I think the Rams have righted the ship. I think the Rams, they had to figure it out because they go through COVID. The win at Arizona, I'm going to give 50-50 because, once again, you got to look at both. You got to flip the pillow, man. Rest in peace. Stu Scott used to say, man, cool's the other side of the pillow. You got to check the other side. If you hot, nigga, flip the pillow over. Before you start taking covers and clothes off, flip the pillow. That might cool you down. The Cardinals, though, are doing what they've done the last 2 years. Start here, and they get here, and then it starts there. DeAndre Hopkins. D-Hops is now out the rest of the regular season. He is their receiver. Their main guy. Rondell from Purdue. He just looks like he's struggling to figure out what being an NFL receiver is about. This isn't Indiana. This ain't Illinois, homeboy. Like, you're not playing those. You're not playing Northwestern today. You're playing the Seahawks. You're playing the Rams. You're playing the Niners twice. And then you got to go across the country on the road. They have no business dropping that game in Detroit. You got to go get that game, especially after losing a division game at home and allowing the Rams to tie that up or come one game up, move one game up from you. You have to go out there, and you go to Detroit, and you don't just lose. You get your ass kicked. Like, you cannot have that happen. And I agree with you on the Niners and their toughness, but I'll throw another last name at you. Shanahan. Not just Lynch, Shanahan. His father coached very tough football teams. His father was a coach in Washington twice, once an assistant, once as a head coach. Those were tough Washington Redskins teams. Won 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos, went to 3 straight AFC Championship games with tough-minded football teams. Shannon Sharp, one of the toughest receivers ever played. Terrell Davis, one of the toughest, elusive, powered, stocky backs to ever play this game. He played John Elway, tough as shit. He played with tough guys, man. So that's his son. So his son learned something. The Ryan boys, they learned something from Buddy, right? Both of them.
Oh, absolutely.
You learned something, yeah. So that's another last thing we got to make sure Lynch is up in the office, but Shanahan is the one blowing the whistles and the drills. Shanahan's the one that's in the office or in the locker room talking, and I give them a lot of credit. I thought the Niners would be an average football team this year. I was wrong about Jimmy G. I thought he should have been gone draft weekend. If you were going to move up and make those trades to go to number 3 to get a quarterback, I just don't feel you could keep the veteran. You saw what the Patriots did, and I hated it, but the Patriots were kind of like, well, we did take this guy at 15, even though we did just start you the last playoff game, which we probably shouldn't have done, but, I mean, we were trying to help you get an audition or something, but we're going to go with the young guy, just simply because we took him at 15, and we just don't want that. We are no-nonsense, no-distraction franchise. You being here would be a distraction. Thank you for your service, but... And they named him team captain last year. They set Cam up beautifully. But I think you have to look at the Niners and their toughness. Shanahan too, but Garoppolo's got a big part of that. He's played really well, man, and he's playing for his job. He knew it. And then Trey was a disappointment because kid gets hurt, and I was like, okay, well, bro, you better be healthy next year, man, because the NFL don't wait. The NFL don't wait at quarterback, man. Miss Danielle, Miss Lee. My black queen in the building today. Talk to me about the Niners a little bit. You agree with what I'm throwing out there with Shanahan, Trey Lance, Garoppolo? How do you see them? You think they catch the Rams?
That's tough. That's very tough. I do think they're very tough. That is a tough team. And just like you said, Shanahan coming from a great line of tough teams that his dad coached.
Yep.
McCaffrey was on that team too.
Exactly.
So, yes, they are a tough team, and honestly, I think they can pull it out, and
Okay.
I think they can beat the Rams because they are so tough. So,
Right.
it's a possibility. It's going to be hard, but it's a possibility.
NFC East, and we'll move on to the next division. We talked about the Bucks have so many injuries. I just don't think you can give a fair assessment. I know they better figure it out, though. Ronald Jones is the most sought after running back in fantasy playoff teams right now. I picked him up on 2 teams. I was just like, I don't need him, but I might need him. So let me go grab this fool, because one thing I know is he's getting the carries. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but I know they're gonna hand him this. He gonna do this a lot over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So let me grab him. But the NFC East, you talked about the Eagles, Luis, and you're thinking that they have a shot to catch Dallas. I'm gonna go way out on a limb and say I think they do too. I've said about Dallas all year long. I've seen better Dallas teams finish 8-8. I've seen better Dallas teams than this. Dak Prescott's rookie team. We could go back to Romo with Dez and Roy Williams at the safety and DeMarcus Ware, a future first ballot Hall of Famer rushing off the end. That line. Those teams finished